In this screencast, I'll show you how to use the Python interpreter. I'll assume you know how to start Python. So let's type Python at the command line, and let's see some things you can do in the interpreter on the left. So I have here my command line starting with, in the interpreter, with 3 greater than signs. And if I wanted to quit it, I could just type quit. Now let's start again and do something a bit more interesting. So in the interpreter, you can insert different operations. So I could do those on the left and enter it, and each time the interpreter answers with a different number. So what happens here is I enter 27 plus 6, press enter, and then 33 is printed. 3 times 8 gives 24. So each time I submit something, the interpreter evaluates it, decides whether to print something out back or to just accept it. So here are some cases where the interpreter would just accept and not say anything. So if I was to paste this here, x equals 3, this is an assignment. I'm assigning the variable x to, I'm binding it to the object 3. So I'm assigning to x the value 3. And I could similarly assign 4 to y, 6 to z, and then do this multiple assignments at once where I assign 1 to a, b, and c. All right, that's all good. And once we have those variables in, that once the interpreter knows about those variables, I can call them back. So I can write x, and the interpreter responds with the value y or b. You can also separate multiple assignments with colons, semicolons, so like here. So, and similarly, you can ask the interpreter information about each of those separated with semicolons. So I'm asking here about u, v, and f, which I've just assigned. So those are for numbers, but you can also play with strings. So this is a text, that's the string, this is a text. Note that Python has responded slightly differently. Here I have double quotes, while here I have single quotes. I can also assign hello world, the hello world string, to text, and then just type text, and this will respond with this value. I can also explicitly ask the interpreter to print it, and this is what I get. So notice the slight difference that here the quotes have disappeared. This is because I've asked for print to print the content of text, and this produces slightly more beautiful output. In this case, slightly, in some cases, vastly more beautiful outputs. Okay, and you can also print variables together with strings, or you can mix and match. So you can have this, the value of d is, and then you enter d, so the interpreter will fetch the value that's associated with d and decide to print it. So I highly recommend that you start experimenting a little bit with the interpreter now before going on to the next lessons. This will be very helpful.